Hey everyone, I'm your host, Rae Irelan, and you are listening to the Soul Aligned podcast, where we help high achieving leaders and driven visionaries do what you love and live your purpose. So, welcome to episode number 10. Yeah! In this episode, it's all around giving yourself permission to live a big life, all right? Yeah, I love it. So permission really means consent or authorization. Big means a considerable importance, size, extent, or intensity. So when we're talking about a big life, this is really talking about adventure, love, open heart, your open mind, full expression, freedom, peace, fear, joy, despair. Literally all of it, like all of the things. So, what do you think of when you hear a big life? Like what do you think of? Are you thinking of luxury? Are you thinking of importance, value, impact? These are some of the things that I just think about naturally. A lot of times we have these different ideas of like what a big life is, right? Who do you associate with having a big life? Most minds go to people of excess, the rich uncle, that has like 10 cars, or the overindulgent woman, the spoiled child, right? When we're thinking of like, ooh, live your big life. But also perhaps there's some others in that list that might be like your life superheroes. For me, some of them are like Oprah, Beyonce, Tony Robbins, Brene Brown, right? The list goes on and on. But really, like, what are they demonstrating? They're demonstrating this fullness of life, the capacity that they have to experience life, and also what they're giving to life. Not only what they're really taking from it. Obviously they have a lot. There's a lot of abundance there, and also they're giving back a lot, which is so cool. That's what inspires me. So what are we really talking about here, right? Like there's kind of some confusion that can come up around living your big life. When we hear and when we read about this big life, most of us experience this mixed bag of emotions, and we aren't really able to sort out how we really feel towards having a big life because there's no clear example of really what living large means. There's all sorts of examples, right? And some that might be super inspiring and some that actually might leave a terrible taste in your mouth. I know that's what I experience. So in this moment, while you're listening to this, I ask you to open your mind and heart, to open your spirit to receiving a message around something more. So a new reality where you choose what your big life looks like. I have some friends whose big life looks like living on a beautiful collective farm. Others are in a shack by the beach. Some are in this mansion on a hill. Others are in this high rise in a city. Very, very different lives, right? No one is here to tell you what to be, what to do, who to be. So really, what do you want? Who do you want to be? What does your big life look like? So we can start this process with you just giving yourself permission to dream and to dream bigger. And so when I say dream bigger, I mean let your heart open wider. Let your mind open, let your spirit open and expand into greater alignment with your truth. So what does your vision look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? I want you to open all of your senses up to a greater possibility of alignment. Sometimes we need people to give us permission. I know I did for a long time, either from, my parents or teachers, or maybe a mentor that I had in my life, or a best friend, my brother and sister, or maybe my boyfriend. I would ask them, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about this outfit? What do you think about this meal? I mean, literally the list goes on and on of what I would ask, to understand others' perspectives. And a lot of times I would get excited about what they said, and then I would just kind of follow along. I'd be like, oh, well, I love you. I guess I love what you choose too. And yet it doesn't always have to be like this. This can get us into really sticky situations and codependent relationships. So understand and start to think about, who are you getting your advice from? You know, I loved all the people that I was getting my advice from. I loved them deeply. I deeply respected them. But when it came down to it, really no one could tell me what my biggest vision was for my life or what my truth looked like. That was for me to discover and for me to decide upon. And it really, since I didn't know how to do that for myself, I didn't know how to take and grab that permission for myself, it actually took a mentor of mine telling me, you have full permission right now to do what you want, no matter what anyone else says, including me. And that moment was huge. It was totally huge. I got the permission slip delivered, in my hand. It was there. Now there was no way that I could say I didn't have permission to do that. It was time for me to totally take it into my own hands and really give myself that permission, experience that permission of what I wanted to create in my life. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, man, I wish I had a mentor that, gave me permission to do whatever I wanted to do in my life, even if it's not even listening to them, guess what? Before opening your floodgates to your expansion, here you go. Here's your permission slip. You have full permission to live the biggest life you can imagine. You can live the most aligned life possible. You have full permission to create this for yourself now. Go for it and have fun. How does that feel? How does it feel hearing that? What are you thinking about? A lot of times there's self-sabotage that comes up immediately. I can't, I won't. I want you to love all those pieces that are saying no, that are saying you can't, that are saying you won't, and just love them. You don't even have to kick them out of your mind. Sometimes that's a little too harsh. What would happen if you just say, oh, it's okay. You can still be in the car, but I'm just not going to let you in the front seat anymore. Actually, I feel like I'm kind of tired of hearing you. I'm going to put you in the trunk. I know you have valuable information for me, but right now, I don't want to hear this. I'm going towards my dreams. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm living my big life. So that's something that I love to do, is bring my fears along because they're a valid and important part of myself and my message and my being, but I don't need them to be in the driver's seat and me be in the passenger seat, right? You start to take that ownership, not control. So write this permission slip on a piece of paper for yourself. I want you to literally give yourself a permission slip and put it in your wallet, put it around your house, put it on your doors, on your mirror, so that way you can remind yourself constantly of the permission that you're granting yourself access to daily. It is completely yours. This is something that I practice daily, and being a natural people pleaser, I've discovered that the more that I can remind myself that I have full permission, the more my imagination starts to work, right? I get excited about it, and I start to see that the decisions I make, especially when related to others, because I want to people please. I want to go for the ride with Joe and Molly. I don't want to go by myself. And yet, if I could just grant myself full permission to be totally me, to live the big life that I choose, I might find that, first of all, Joe and Molly might want to join me. Or I might actually find others that are in alignment and living their fullest, biggest life as well. So it can be really, really fun. As that happens, it's like you start to begin creating smoke signals for the universe. At some point, as you are really imagining how you can live a big, aligned life, at some point, the universe takes that wish and swings it right back at you. It may not look like identical to what you had thrown out to the universe, right? Let's be real. If you throw a tennis ball out to the universe, do you think the universe is going to throw you a tennis ball back? No, it's going to look totally different. So in this process of really granting yourself full permission to live a big life, you got to let go of the expectations, let go of control, let go of thinking that you know what it looks like, because you don't. No one knows. Not even your mentor, not even your best friend, not even your parents. So let go of that control and continue to focus, continue to vision on that dream, on that bigness of life that you get to experience, that fullness, that fulfillment of waking up, being excited to live your completely perfect life. It doesn't have to be this crazy luxurious life, but it can be perfect for you. And going to sleep feeling that gratitude in your heart for your day and for your life and for your sleep. So what does that look like for you? To dream bigger, to be more expansive than you ever allowed yourself to be. What does your big life look like? Have you given yourself full permission yet? Maybe you're a few steps closer after listening to this. You're there, you're on your way, and you have got it. You've totally got it. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. And if you want to check out more videos, go ahead and tap the screen right there. I'll see you next time.